A lot of you requested that I bring you along for this, and I have the perfect opportunity because I boned a turkey today, and I'm going to can up the turkey meat, but we've got that whole carcass in here. And this was about a 14-pound bird, so it's a pretty good sized carcass. I put all the bones, the neck, the wing tips, the back, everything's in here, and you're gonna have a delicious bone broth out of this. Now, bone broth is different than just a stock. Stock, you've got tons of vegetables in there, and you can actually make a bone broth / vegetable stock, but I prefer to start out with this. The health benefits are you're leaching all the collagen, all the minerals out of the marrow of the bone, and you benefit from that. Your joints, it's got chondroitin and glucosamine in there. All those things that we lose with wear and tear on our joints, you can get back by ingesting bone broth. So people pay a lot of money to have this, and it's super easy. So it just takes some time. Now you can do this in a crock pot if you like. My crock pots tend to boil too rapidly, and you don't want that. You just want this to be at a low simmer for a long period of time. So, and you want to use filtered water. You don't want any chlorine in the water or fluoride. So you're going to cover that, and I'm going to cover it with a gallon to start with. I may end up putting more in here. Yeah, I'm going to need some more. I'll probably put 2 gallons of water in here, and to that I'm going to add Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Now, this is to help the process of the bones breaking down. Without this, it doesn't break down as well. So you want to put an acid in there. And I like to put a couple tablespoons of Bragg's organic apple cider vinegar. And believe it or not, I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of wine in here. And you're thinking, wine? Why? That also helps that process, and it adds a really nice flavor. So, okay, so our 2nd gallon of water. And I'm just here to tell you, if you've never had bone broth, it's phenomenal. And it gelatinizes. Okay, and you're just really covering it well. So it used a little over 1.5 gallons of filtered water. This is a 12-quart stock pot. I just got this off of Amazon, and it's a beautiful stock pot. This is a Cuisinart. It was more than half off, so I'll try to find a link for you guys if you're interested or need a larger stock pot. I really needed this size, and it keeps me from making 22 quarts of soup, if you will. So I'm going to get this on the stove, bring it up to a simmer, and we are going to let this go. This is going to simmer for 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes, you know, even at 18 hours, it's probably just as good as later. I kind of tell by how the bones feel and how soft they are. So I'll bring you back somewhere along the way.
Guys,
All right,
it's 24 hours later, and our bone broth is doing just beautiful. And you just keep it at a really slow simmer. You want that collagen and all that, all the minerals to break down very slowly. And it's going to make for the best broth. I did add some turkey necks that I had in the freezer. I believe there was 3 in each package, so 6 of them. I always try to buy extra for soups and stuff when they're on sale over the holidays. So we put that in there as well. And some bay leaves. So I've got about 5 bay leaves in there. And really, that's the only seasoning. I don't add salt or anything else to this. Poultry that you buy in the store has sodium in it, whether it be naturally occurring or maybe they've injected the birds. But I try to buy as healthy and all natural as possible. So I'm just going to show you right now what it looks like. I'm going to continue to cook this for another couple of hours, and then I'm going to strain it off because it's pretty much done. You don't have to do poultry bone broth as long as you have to do beef bone broth. So, and I'll do a video on that if you'd like. You add it a little bit different, and there's a little bit different technique to it. So, you can also use, let's say you've roasted a turkey or a chicken, and you can save those bones in the freezer and you can use that. I'm going to skim all the fat off of this that I can, and I've got this fat separator, and I'm just going to show you how beautiful this broth is. Just by itself, it's gorgeous. And I'm going to strain this through cheesecloth, and I'll bring you in for the end result. And let me tell you, I've already had a cup of this. It tastes delicious, and I've had a little bit of a cold, so it's really going to be a healing thing. And then I will, after I've let this chill completely, I will show you if it gels or not from the collagen. And then I may, depending on how much I get, I may go ahead and can it up. So we'll just have to see. All right, guys. So now that our bone broth has had a chance to get every bit as good as it's gonna get, I go ahead and strain it off twice. I'm gonna strain it through the fat separator. I've already taken some of the fat off, but go ahead and ladle it in there. And once you get that top layer off, then you can skip this step. But leaving the stopper in so no fat gets up in this. And this, I can do 4 cups at a time if I want, but we're going to do. Then I'm going to strain it right through this cheesecloth. And it'll catch any little bits and give us just a delicious broth that's so healthful. And just what the doctor ordered for me. All right. And then I'm going to jar this up. And depending on how many quarts we get will depend, or pints. I'm probably going to can it in quarts, unless I have an exact 8 pints. And all the meat that's on the bone here, we can use, and see, we're not really getting any more fat, but I'm just straining out big chunks, I guess you'd say. So we can go straight into the cheesecloth now. I think we've gotten enough fat off, and there really wasn't a whole lot because we didn't put the skin and all that in there. Yeah, see, there's no fat in there. So and I hope you can see this beautiful broth. It's just gorgeous. And you could refrigerate it and skim any little bit that might accumulate on the top, but I think a little bit of fat is okay. If it was really fatty, I would say no, don't do that. So we're gonna just keep straining away. And when I get this all strained off, I'm gonna start jarring it up. So as soon as this bowl is full, I'll jar some up, and I'll bring you back and show you the end result. Ah, it's gorgeous. I'm gonna have to have some. Set that right there. Get this jarred up. All right, guys, I'll be right back. So guys, my gauge says it's totally off of pressure. It's down to 0, and I'm ready to open the canner. Before I do that, and I do this even with my Presto canners, just a safety factor, your weight is what is holding the pressure in there. So I kind of jiggle that to see if there's any more pressure in the canner before I remove it. And make sure you protect your hands with a heat-resistant glove or something. I left it on 0 for about 10 minutes, so I know it's off of pressure. When you remove your weight gauge, that means you're totally safe to open this canner because no steam is venting out of there. If you removed it early, the steam would vent out at a rapid pace, and you're going to end up with no liquid in your jars, or your jars would break. So it's totally a safety issue. So you're going to want to go ahead and loosen your. That's my new favorite sound. That and the pinging of jars. I love it. Okay, so we've got all of them undone, and then we want to turn your canner lid, and mine has got to move out a little bit. So I'm going to grab another something. I just want to move it out so it's a little easier to get my lid off. I've got steam. I already hear popping. Got jars pinging already. Let's get this back a little bit. And now we can take these out of the water. And I'm so excited that I have 7 quarts of bone broth that is absolutely beautiful. I don't know who could deny that. That's gorgeous. That was on my stove for about 26 hours. And this turkey bone broth is going to be so good to use in recipes. Hear it? Ping! That's my next favorite sound. I'll let these jars sit here on the counter and cool off until tomorrow morning, in which case I always take the rings off, scrub my jars. This one Tadler lid, I'll check tonight before I go to bed. I'll take the ring off and make sure it's sealed. If it's not, we'll put it in the refrigerator and I'll use it up. But the last canning session that I had, the only lid that failed, which I don't get that very often, was a brand new, actually it was a new ball canning lid, but the old version that lasts more than a year. So I don't know what happened there, but it's in the refrigerator and we'll eat it up first. That's all you have to do. Oh, they're still boiling in the jars. This bone broth just absolutely smells delicious. So good for you. And there you go. So I hope it inspires you to try your hand at home canning and try your hand at making your own bone broth, because it's kind of expensive if you go buy it. And the reason being, it's a time thing. And you can set aside, let's say you roasted a chicken, after you've picked all the meat off of it, put that in a freezer bag, put it in your freezer, and collect that stuff until you have enough to do a bone broth. And sometimes the roasted bones are even better than the raw bones, so I do it both ways. This was a raw bone broth, but absolutely delicious. I had a couple cups of that today, and it's made me feel better. So that being said, I can't wait to see you next time. I truly hope if you like this video and you like canning at home, give me a thumbs up, share it on your Facebook page, and go down in the About section below. Check out the links that I've left for you. I'm going to leave a link to this canner. I'll try to find you the best buy at Amazon, and maybe one of my other kitchen gadgets that I use during this canning session, so you can help yourself out and make life easier in the kitchen. All right, guys. As always, I can't wait to see you next time for another